Jesus isn't playing this morning. He's saying, be alert, be watchful. This is really important. If my word lives in you, you will provide much fruit. We're living this a challenge today, and all of us, I think, in this year 2024, are reading the signs of the times, politically, socially. Jesus' parables, references, and language reveal and intervention of the Spirit working in this context. And Jesus was, of course, in the context of the first century of Palestine. His message was, at that point, to be on the watch, stay awake. He challenges us to a process of being alert that facilitates new responses to old conditions. We don't live in the first century of Palestine. Rehashing that world is tired and will not reveal anything that the Spirit wants to create in our own time. We call this the postmodern world, in which we are, as three characteristics. We're the Newtonian world that we all have grown up in is dead as far as scientists go. It just doesn't work like that anymore. I don't know what string theory is in the Newtonian world, but it's gone, at least for physicists. I don't know what the new ball game of this world is yet. The multi-universes that they talk about, the experience, not authority, is the basis of people's decision-making. We live in a world where stories, whether literal or biblical, or are not factual. Our task is to wake up to the Spirit now working. I can't conceive of what more than 8 billion people on this planet Earth means to our moral, physical, and social environment. I'm not a complete loss as to how to politically address greed that creates massive starvation, poverty, injustice, sickness, and violence. But I do know that the Spirit is alive and working in these modern and these postmodern conditions. I do know that God cares, and the Spirit of Jesus must be alert to new approaches to new problems. I strive not to contaminate the future by poisoning it with the past. Like Jesus, we are called to be alert and open to surprise. So now in this vein, I have some suggestions this day on how to do this from Jesus' life, in which he'll give us some positive reinforcement on how to be alert. So, A-L-E-R-T. A is to avoid cliches. Opinion that is overused and betrays a lack of original thought are a shortcut to thinking and kill spontaneity. My grandpa Kenna used to say, people just think, they don't really think. I think that's most of us. Canned solutions are like fast food. They taste good but have no vitamin value, and they'll kill you if that's all you eat. Do not repeat stupid statements taken unthinkingly. Jesus sharply criticized both the Pharisees as well as the Roman occupiers. He did not believe something just because somebody said it or because it was a stereotype of religious authority approved. If he did, he would not be listening, and if he did, we wouldn't be listening to him this day. So if you'd like to say after me, alert, I avoid cliches. Alert, I avoid cliches. Secondly is listen. Quiet the static that most of us have in our mind, either chewing on the past or worrying about the future. To say someone is thinking is about as profound as saying they are digesting food. Hunches can come at any time. Listening amid the blare and cacophony of conflicting opinions is a daunting task. Courageously entering the silence to encounter the Spirit speaking involves a level of prayer and contemplation, which is very foreign to our busy work society. Jesus, as you remember, was always running off to the desert, out to the mountain, out to be by himself with God. Creativity is creating new answers to old problems and adequate answers to new ones. And it can only be done if we are listening to your heart, listening to the Spirit who is alive and active and working in every single one of us within the context of our life. Jesus understood that the mind needs downtime to reorganize. If you'd like to say with me, alert, I listen for God to speak to my heart. Alert, I listen for God to speak to my heart. E is for expect a miracle. You know, every day is full of miracles. If we open our eyes, we miss the future if we keep projecting the past into it. Fear is a poor motivator. Jesus' life and ministry manifested miracles, healings, transformations on a regular basis. We need to develop a spiritual sense to expect miracles. Folks, the Holy Spirit is as real and as close to you as your breath. He's an integral part of your unique life. And he has purpose and he's support for the unique conditions in which you are facing in your life. Just why we don't want to grieve the Holy Spirit with bloated egos. You know what ego means? Easing God out. That's what ego. We don't want to do that. Every disciple of Jesus worthy of his or her salt knows what it means to walk on water. Are you a parent? Look into the eyes of your child. To me, that's the easiest miracle to connect to. We all have miracles in our lives. If you'd like to say with me, alert, I expect miracles. Alert, I expect miracles. R is for retreat. We need to sometime get out of Dodge, stand back to get perspective. In psychodrama we call it the mirror position. We're able to stand back from ourselves and look at ourselves objectively. It's really hard to do, but it's the way to reset our mind and our life. We need to talk to someone, read a book, break those tired old patterns that we get so used to. Kind of confident, a therapist, a spiritual director, a bartender. Somebody, that was a joke. But someone that you can speak to. I've got to share with you, I have not taken a little time off. And I need to. Not a lot necessarily, but I need to. Next Monday is my 84th birthday. 84. Thank you. Well, I'm taking Monday off. But I'm going to take some more time than that, because it's just essential to moving forward, and it feels great. You'd like to say after me, alert, I make time for retreat. Alert, I make time for retreat. And finally, T is for trust spirit. The fact is, God is in charge. The future belongs to God, and He's got some great things that God is planning to do in the future. All we need to do is let go of our dualistic thinking and move beyond what they call our lizard brain and have a higher consciousness in which faith rules. Most of the time we spend walking around, at least I can only speak for myself, in a trance. We get little patterns of thinking. It's a trance. The Holy Spirit is powerfully moving in our postmodern world if we but open our eyes. If you'd like to say with me, alert, I trust that Spirit is working in my life. Alert, I trust that Spirit is working in my life. So, Jesus begs us in the gospel today, be alert to the social, political, intellectual paradigm shifts in which the Spirit invites us now, making for most of 2024. As we begin this liturgical year, we have a tremendous opportunity to wake up, to be alert, avoid vices, listening, expecting miracles, retreating, and trusting Spirit. Just wake up.